going on, YouTube family? Jake here. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today on this video. I greatly appreciate it. As always, it means a lot to me. So today is a special video. We are doing another amazing book review. It's not just any book though. This is a classic read. You can see by the title already, so I'm kind of like building up. I'm like suspensing you for what? It's the Four Agreements right here. Shout out to the author, Miguel Ruiz. Shout out to the author. This is an amazing read, a short read as well, so it doesn't take too long. Now, I don't typically do a lot of these book reviews, but when I do, as I usually say in my other book reviews, I make sure that I'm sharing a book that I find very, very impactful and has had an impact on my life. And I truly mean this within my soul, within my heart, that when I find a book that I really want to share, I feel like that I know it is going to impact someone else out there. That if you read this book and you stick by what the Four Agreements are, which we'll get into, that you'll truly live a different life. So let's jump right into it. Let's not waste no time, because I'm really excited to talk to you guys about what the Four Agreements even are. You know, just a little bit about how it has an impact on my life. So it's funny because I haven't read this book in over a year, but I do typically go back to revisit the Four Agreements to see like, oh, what are the Four Agreements? And let me live by these Four Agreements. Because I feel like if you live by these Four Agreements, I know if you live by these Four Agreements that you will be living and experiencing a different life. So as I was going back through this though, I kind of just opened it and was like, oh, okay, let me see. Because I remember there was an introduction, like a pre-introduction to the Four Agreements. And the introduction is called The Smoky Mirror. And I reread this because it was a couple pages. And it actually gained me even more perspective from the time I read it about a year ago. So I reread this and I was just in shock. I was in awe. I was like, wow, this holds so much more meaning right now than it did a year ago. It's crazy when you revisit things with a different mindset. So basically, to sum this up, what the introduction was talking about in The Smoky Mirror is that it's this man, he's on his journey, he's going out throughout his journey, and he looks up in the sky, and he looks at the stars, he looks at the light, and then he looks away, right? He kind of just, okay, yeah, stars and light, cool. But then he looks back again, and he sees something deeper. He sees something more meaningful within his heart, and he realizes that, wait, he's the stars. He has a part of God within him. He is God. Everyone else around him has a part of God within them. Everyone is God, right? We all have these pieces. And then his eyes open up like that smoky mirror. He gets the smoke off the mirror, and then he truly sees his real life in front of them. And then he sees himself and everybody else. He sees the beauty in nature, the beauty in other individuals. And that's just what it's about, opening your heart, right? So that's what it's about. He's finding that God in everyone else, that God within himself. And he's realizing that everyone is whole. Everyone is already one. One. O-N-E. You're one. You're whole. So rereading that kind of was actually a lot of power for me. And I was like, wow, okay, that made me want to reread this whole book again, which I'll definitely get back into. There's also an Audible version, which is great to listen to in the car. If you're on a drive, you just listen to the Four Agreements. You can't get better than that. So let's jump right into what the Four Agreements are, right? You're probably really dying to know. I know you are. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. This one's powerful right off the bat, right? To be impeccable with your word. What does this mean? To me, and this is the cool thing about this book, I feel like every agreement holds a different value to another individual that reads the book, right? If you hear the word be impeccable with your word, that might mean something specific in your life than it does to another individual. So to me, be impeccable with your words means say things that you truly mean from your heart. Don't say it from your head, right? You got to say things from your heart, right? And when you say things from your heart to another individual, you take away the judgment, right? You take away the judgment, which is another agreement. I'm already jumping ahead. You take away the judgment from someone else and you just speak from your heart. You're being impeccable with your word. You're truly meaning what you're saying. That has so much impact, not only yourself, but on the other individual, right? So that's a very, very powerful agreement. Right off the bat, they start with that. I'm trying to go in order here. So the next one would be, don't take anything personally. This one is powerful, especially for me. This one was so powerful, not to take anything personally from another individual, right? If someone comes up to you and throws negativity at your way, right? They throw hate, I don't like to use that word, but they throw poison at your way, and it's like, It's like, oh, why are they attacking me? And then you start to have remorse. You start to feel bad inside. You're like, oh, this person's attacking me. What's wrong with me? You start questioning yourself because this person might be saying negative things to you, poisonous things to you to bring you down. But if you can understand that phrase, don't take anything personally, and realize that this person isn't attacking you. This person is attacking themselves, right? Because why else would that person take the time out of their day to attack you and to allocate negativity and poison onto you? Like, that doesn't make sense. But when you can understand and not take that personally, you could open your eyes and just love the other human being for who they are. So that's powerful, right? That's the second agreement. The third agreement, this is a good one. This is a good one. And I'm a victim to it. I'm a victim to it a lot. That's why I want to revisit this book. Don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions about anyone else, anyone living another life. Don't make assumptions about them, right? I feel like we all tend to do it. And hey, that's an assumption. That's an assumption right there. Look at that. This is one of the agreements I need to work on. And that's so powerful because you know what they say. Don't make an assumption because what? It makes an out of you and me, right? It makes an cut off the word in the beginning of assumption. It makes an out of you and me. So true, right? Don't make assumptions about another individual, because you don't know what's going on in their life. That's probably the most powerful thing I can say. If you make an assumption about another individual saying, oh, they got all that going for them, they got this with their life, they got the money, they got the car, they got the house, don't assume that. You don't know what's really within their heart, right? So don't make assumptions about other people. Instead, what can you do instead? Ask questions. Ask questions, right? Before you assume and make an assumption, spark a question like, oh, hey, why are you doing this? You know, a simple question like that before you make an assumption saying, oh, you're doing this because of that, right? So this, I feel like I'm also speaking to myself on because this is something I need to work on as well. Day to day, because that's what it is. That's what it's about. When you live by the 4 agreements, you do this day by day. It's a lifelong process of practicing the 4 agreements. That's what I truly believe. The last agreement, this one's powerful. Always do your best. Always do your best, no matter what. Give it all you have, right? When you can go at the end of the day, you're lying in bed at the end of the day and you said, hey, I did my best today. What more can you ask of yourself? When you understand that and you say, I did my best today, you eliminate regret, you eliminate anxiety, fear, because you understand, hey, I was whole with myself today. I did everything that I could capably do to fulfill either my passion, to fulfill my daily needs with another individual. I did my best. And hey, if you're satisfied with that, then that's all that matters, right? You don't judge yourself, right? That's powerful. So those are the 4 agreements right there, okay? You have don't make assumptions, don't take anything personally, right? Always do your best, be impeccable with your word. I said them out of order, but I always flip them out of order, but that is powerful. Those 4 agreements, live by that. If you can live by that every day, you'll be like that guy in the beginning of the introduction that I shared. You'll get the smoke off the mirror and you'll open your eyes to a much more beautiful world, and you'll see love within other people, not only in yourself, but you'll see love within other people, and you'll just express that love to others. And then that's a chain effect, right? I call that the chain effect. When you express that love to others, you hope that affects them in their heart, and then they spread it to other people, and it's a chain, and it's an everlasting chain, and that's what we need more of, the love, right? The love. So amazing read. Thank you guys for joining me. I know Miguel, he has a bunch of other books that I definitely want to get into and definitely want to read. I'm pretty sure I saw them like right on the front here. Yeah, it said, look, he has the 5th agreement. He has one called the 5th agreement. I'm not sure what the 5th agreement is, but I definitely want to check that out. I definitely knew it before, but I forget it. But the Mastery of Love, the Circle of Fire. So if you want to check out any other books he has, I highly recommend. Amazing author. And thank you guys again for so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe, hey, you want to buy the 4 agreements as well. I highly recommend it. So thank you guys again. Much love. Stay happy out there. Stay healthy. Peace.